Okay, now wait. Now do Darude Sandstorm.
Oh, what is that again? How's that go? Hello everyone, number 69420, we are back, Lemon Live yet again.
How are we doing? Good to see everyone. Hope you've had a good week. We've had a pretty good week. It's been interesting times here in New South Wales. Turns out we might be going back into lockdown, which really sucks,
I feel
unfortunately.
like it's happening next week.
I feel like it's
the week after, which is great.
The last few weeks we've been really sort of chuffed with ourselves in New South Wales. Been like, yeah, we got this, man, all good. And then like it turns out not so much, and maybe it's really bad. So anyway, guys, hello and welcome.
Looking at the chat, we got a few people in to chat today.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we say we got it. We got Lateman too soon, and we got everyone.
Oh, are we a minute late? No, we were 8 o'clock.
No, I think we're right on time. I think we're good.
No one wants to chat with us right now. That's okay.
That's
Lemon, we are not late, everybody. So how was your week, Ravel? What did you do?
This week I played 2 games actually. I played a lot of Rogue Company.
Oh yes,
I got stuck back into that one. Actually, that's not bad. That's a new free-to-play tactical shooter from High Res Studios. And yeah, it's actually pretty good.
I actually got it. I got a free code, and I actually ended up getting it also on Switch. I loved it so much, I got it on Switch too. And you know me, guys, I do love my Switch. Okay. Now this is actually a very good game. I'm surprised that more people aren't like talking about it. Sure. Like I'm surprised that it's better than Valorant in my opinion. I only played a couple of hours of Valorant, fine, okay, but I've only played 5 or 6 hours or so of Rogue Company, and I've enjoyed that time more.
I wouldn't say it's better. I would say I'm actually, because I played a little bit of Valorant and I've played a little bit of Rogue Company. I definitely enjoyed Rogue Company more because it's more casual. Like Valorant, as soon as you step into it, it just feels sweaty. Like everything about it just feels like everyone is no-lifing it and looking up guides and shit. Like even people who just started playing it are already trying to like no-life it. And with Rogue Company, you kind of get the feeling that everyone's there just to chill out and have fun and whatever.
Yeah, I love the whole battle royale-esque where you fly in kind of thing.
I hate that part of it. I'm like, that's so unnecessary.
No, because you can actually start where you in different areas. There's a strategy to it. You can also see where the other team is going to land roughly. There's a bit of strategy to it. Sure. Anyway, that has been a pretty good game.
The other one I played this week was Grounded.
Oh.
Now, Grounded, we played it at XO19. It's a new survival game from Obsidian.
Yeah.
And it's the one where it's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Of course. We played it back in the day and we weren't impressed.
We thought it sucked.
That was a year. Was that last year?
That was last year in November.
Sorry, XO19, yes, sorry, yeah. For us, when we played it, it either wasn't in good shape or in the way that they give you a quick demo of playing it for 20 minutes, it doesn't register that well. It was either one of the two.
It was both, I think. Like, it was definitely very shaky. Just mechanically, it was weak. Didn't look very good. Just the whole thing just didn't click together. And also, we played a segment of the game that was just kind of like a multiplayer, build a fort, defend it, whatever. Not a great slice. Played the game pretty much all day yesterday. Absolutely loved it. I think this is a great game. It's in early access right now. And yeah, you should check it out. We'll do a review proper later, talk about it some more. So we don't want to give away too much, but it's on Game Pass. And
I was on Game Pass yesterday just having a look. I mean, every single time I jump on there, I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's a good value. It really is, though. I know we've said it so many times, but like, it's actually...
What a brave take, Sam. No gamer has ever said that before.
Fantastic value. We should start doing... You know how we do the Epic Games free thing?
Epic Games good.
Do they do new Game Pass games every week?
I don't think it's every week. I think it's like once every fortnight or every month or something. So we could do like new.
We could do a little
to
segment
Game Pass.
of the free section, like the gold.
It's not free; it's you paying for it.
Well,
but then there's games with gold from Microsoft, and that sucks now because all their money now goes into Game Pass. So all the free games on games with gold really blows. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, this is Lemon Live, where we talk about all the stuff that we didn't get a chance to talk about this week, and there's a fair amount of news this week.
Joe is live too. God damn it, Joe! Why are you doing the same day as us?
This is other Joe. I blame him. He's the evil mastermind.
Oh, yes, of course.
That's really trying to tear us down. You can just see the look in his eye, like he's evil.
An evil man.
He's evil. That guy.
He's an evil man.
I'm telling you. Just trust me on that. Right now, we've got our first story up. Let's have a look at it. CD Projekt Red, you guys should be aware that there is a scam going on in relation to Cyberpunk. It reads... from their official Twitter, if you recently received an email claiming to be granting you beta access to Cyberpunk 2077, it's not from us. Unfortunately, there have been more of these sent out over the past few weeks. When we contact you via email, it will always come from @cdprojektred.com address. Same goes to content creators. We'll always reach out directly from blah. If you're being contacted by a third party claiming to be working for us, an agency, for example, you can assume it is not genuine. So there you go, guys. Don't click on any of the scam links trying to get you into the beta for Cyberpunk.
Speaking of that, have you guys heard about the Lehman beta? Right, so we're going to send you a link. Right? Credit card details, expiry date, and the little three numbers on the back.
And your Bitcoin wallet.
And the Bitcoin wallet. And we've got a surprise for you guys. Don't worry, okay?
I'm feeling generous. Every Bitcoin you send us, we will send 2 back.
We will send 2 other types of cryptocurrency.
They just arrested a teenager who
saw that.
Who was, so you know that scam where like Barack Obama, Elon Musk, Kanye all tweeted out Bitcoin scam. They've just arrested a teenager who apparently was the mastermind for that.
I mean, I highly doubt
that dude's going to jail.
But like, I highly doubt some teenage kid is the one that's like hacking into Obama, right? Like,
it's always some teenage kid. What are you talking about?
That needs some serious hacking skills.
This is Sam's like, I don't think young people can use the internet. No, but that sounds ridiculous.
Teenager though,
like a really young person.
Yeah,
no.
That sounds
crazy.
Federal government and shit, you know. Well, I mean, Obama does not. You know, his Twitter is not federal government, but you know what I mean, guys. Anyway, let's go. Well, that is a bit of a fun story. Anyway, speaking of failures,
speaking of fun stories and failures,
EA's new multiplayer game Rocket Arena is a total failure. Everybody,
what a headline! They didn't pull any punches.
They really didn't. Now, this game came out about a week or 2 ago. We jumped on, we played a bit of it. Look, it was fun.
It's fun.
The biggest problem with this, I think this actually would have been semi-successful.
Yep.
It would have carved its own little population out if it was free to play. You had to pay $29, something like that. $34 if that rings true, something like that.
Yeah, 40 Australian dollars from memory.
Yeah. And in the first, a week and a half, they've already dropped the price by 75%. You can get it now for like $6.
It was 83% discounted on
83,
PSN.
was it? Yeah. And the player population kind of says it all. Now, it's apparently Steam charts were saying that it was roughly a peak population, 900 or something players.
913 players.
Now it's, as of 24 hours when this article was made, it's 142 concurrent players. Again, this would have had some serious legs. It's a lot of fun. Make it free to play. They can still go free to play. There is still an avenue for this, I think.
It will be going free to play for sure.
It will go free to play, and then they'll just do cosmetics and shit like that, and they may have a chance to come back. That's what they should do.
I mean, yeah. So we actually did a review on this, by the way, on the channel. We did play a little bit of it with Muselk. Yeah, definitely found it to be a fun game.
Yeah.
They just, to be clear, they tripled down on monetization. They sold it for a price, like $40. Bad move to start. They also had a cash shop where you can buy cosmetics, and they also had a paid battle pass. So EA went full EA on this one.
Yeah.
And it's really surprising because they had Apex Legends as their learning in the past, where they're like, what we're going to do is we're going to make a great game, we're going to drop it on the market for free, and off it goes. And they just seem to completely ignore this playbook this time around. And they're like, why don't we try and charge $40 for this? I wonder if they thought that this thing was going to flop anyway, and they just wanted to recoup some costs on the box price. It's a shame, man, because it's a fun Smash-inspired shooter.
Smash-esque, yeah.
Smash-esque.
I think that, look, you know what? It was actually a unique idea. I don't think we've ever seen this before, like an FPS or third-person kind of thing. Smash kind of hybrid. It could have done well. Again, there is an avenue to go for with this, in my opinion.
Yes, I agree. Your opinion. Maybe I need to do a full Lehman Live in my French accent.
Well, maybe.
People seem to enjoy that one.
People did enjoy that.
Maybe
that was
I'll
quite
come
good.
back to that.
That was quite
French
good.
Ralph. I'll buy one of those striped shirts.
Oh yes, with the
carry
little
a baguette with me whenever I go.
The mime suit.
There's a bakery nearby, so we can get a baguette very easily.
A French bakery.
Yeah, that's right. We can ask them, can you evaluate my French accent?
They'll be like, please, we're getting harassed here.
Don't come back. Guys, we've got some super chats and we always appreciate them. Let's read through them. Sub gentleman, says Brennan Williamson. Have you ever played Vampire 2018? Really fun RPG. Ever seen NHL hockey? Missing out if you haven't. They're very different games, can I say? They need to combine the vampire genre with the NHL genre. Ooh. So that when they do that thing where they start fighting on the ice, they're actually like sucking each other's blood, and then the game goes.
I would play that.
I would play that game.
It's a cool idea.
Vampire hockey.
Make it, then charge $40 for it.
I didn't play Vampire. I skipped that one actually, but we used to play heaps of NHL back in the day.
We did.
That was fun.
That was a lot of fun, but that was Sega days.
I think we used to play the EA one as well.
Oh wait, what am I thinking? Wayne Gretzky or something? Or I don't know.
Yeah, we played a whole bunch of. We actually used to play sports games when we were growing up.
Madden. We used to play Madden also.
We don't even like American football, but we played Madden before the monetization bullshit came. We played sports games. Cezenio is back. Welcome back. He's got some Paladin dollars for us. Just pause Ghost of Tsushima to watch my favorite Friday show. Have a nice weekend, guys. Clash Royale is awesome. It is the best of all the mobile games. Everyone knows this. Huron the Steadfast became a member. Thank you very much, Huron. We appreciate you. Francois Bergman's back. Welcome back, Francois. It says the pro is back. Sam tried his best. Oh, okay. He's talking about me. He's also talking about the excising of Pizza Ralph.
Yes, Pizza Ralph is gone.
Pizza Ralph.
Okay. Pizza Ralph is gone for now, but he may make a return.
He'll be back. He'll
be back, everybody.
Mad DX says, can we replace Ralph? Can get Tanner on the weekly dump. Do you mean Tanner?
Tanner?
As in Tanner that works downstairs?
Can we get Tanner?
Or do you mean like I need more of a tan?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Maybe.
Tanner is with an AR though, so I'm not
Probably
sure.
Not her. We've got here, Moonbot says, my husband, Akshay, always calls his friends garbage in the super chat, so I would like to remind him that ranked Iron 1 in Valorant. I don't actually know what Iron rank is, but I'm assuming it's not good. Let's assume it's bad, okay? Anyway, let's get back to some news, guys. Next up, we've got another EA story, and that is an interesting one. EA explains why Star Wars Squadrons costs $40 and PS5, Xbox Series X upgrades for FIFA and Madden are free. So, in a news call recently, someone asked, like, hey man, why are you charging like $50 for, or $40 I think, US for the next Star Wars game? What's up with that? We're EA, we should be making all the money. How come we're only making some of the money? Blake Jorgensen, who's their CFO, it's just the guy that said, if we could charge you for reloading bullets when you're low, that's a very buyable moment for you. You're under a lot of pressure to spend then. That guy, so real top operator. He says, we always look at games and we want to make sure we are providing the greatest value for our players. Games all have different scale, and most of our games right now have huge scale. We designed this game, Star Wars Squadrons, to really focus on what we heard from consumers, which is one of the greatest fantasies, to be able to fly an X-Wing or a TIE fighter and be in a dogfight. So it doesn't have the breadth of some of our games, but it's still an incredible game. That's why we chose to price it at a slightly lower level, to also allow access to as many people as possible who have that Star Wars fantasy.
Okay, so I think there's a couple of things there. Number one, they're probably just using the same engine that they already made for Star Wars Battlefront 2.
I don't believe that's true. I actually think it's on a different engine from what I remember.
Really?
Yep, I think it is.
Well, can you bring the same assets over to another engine?
No.
You can't, right? It has to be built from the ground up. Okay, well, if that was the case, I don't know why they're charging $40 because unless this is a really small experience.
I get the impression it's a small experience. I think there's only 5 multiplayer maps from memory.
Okay.
I think, which is fine because it's a small title, and then it's a relatively short single player campaign. I'm not getting the impression it's like 40 hours of gameplay in single player. It's a small, discreet little Star Wars experience, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, if EA's getting ready with a $40 price tag, then they don't want to give money away, so they really must be getting ready to give like a 40-minute experience. And they're like, here we go.
I don't know.
No. It might be 4 or 5 hours or something, and that's pretty much all you get out of it.
Sure.
Because we've seen FIFA and all this kind of stuff, that like is like $90 each time or whatever, and it's like very. I mean, how much development and how much time and like money has to go into the next FIFAs? I don't know, right? I mean, how much are they just using the same assets, which we've seen on the side of the billboards where it still says FIFA 16 or some shit, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Adam Hood says, love you guys. Good to see CD Projekt Red and Devolver joking on Twitter, trading 2 copies and a beta key for Cyberpunk, and Devolver gives them 100 carrion keys for them to sell on dodgy websites. I did see that little exchange. That was what I linked earlier in relation to the Scam website. So that was cute. We love little cute bants with the CD Projekt Red. What do you call it? Social media account. Massive Ryken says, for $20, finally get to see you guys live. Much love, my layman. My favorite channel. Sub to you both individually. You guys have a great duality together. Keep up the memes and game news coming. Thank you very much, friend. That's very, very kind. Guys, did you know that Japan is pissed off at Ghost of Tsushima?
I knew this headline was going to happen, actually. I really did think that. Now, so where do we start? So Ghost of Tsushima is a fantastic game. It is now the highest Metacritic score for a PlayStation exclusive. Now, the Yakuza director has come out and said...
By the highest user score.
User score, I should say.
That's right, yeah.
Now, the Yakuza director has come out and said this. Now, if we just go a little bit down...
Sure.
First thing, he said, look, he loves the game and all that kind of stuff, but he did say, to be honest, we, Japan, were beaten. He replied with a chuckle. Yeah, of course, we're losing. Honestly, I think that's a game that should be made in Japan.
How funny is that?
He does say also
that should have been ours.
Yeah, but he also says somewhere down, he goes, but he does feel that they did enough research.
Yeah.
So look, if an American company wants to make a game about Australia, I'm cool with that. If they do it right, you know what I mean?
To be clear though, he's not like angry about it. He's like, oh damn it, that should have been ours. They did such a good job. They really nailed it. Like he goes on to praise Kurosawa mode being really good. He says foreigners who tickle the fancy of Japanese people more than Japanese people are rather amazing. No, he said there's like a notion that Westerners don't understand things about Japan, but that hypothesis is itself mistaken.
Definitely.
So he was very polite and very sort of gracious in his language there.
Definitely.
Gratuitous in his praise.
But I wonder if there's actually people out there going, no, that should have been made by, a Japanese studio, blah, blah, blah. But, in reality, this has been a smash out of the park.
Oh, massive.
I mean, and because we know traditional Japan, this definitely felt like traditional Japan. That's right. Like, what's the place with all the... We went there when we went to Tokyo. With all the figures, like you can buy the figures, the anime figures. Akihabara. That is traditional Japan, right there.
Nice,
okay.
Nice. Well, I think it's kind of funny because there has been some kind of like fake, drummed up outrage about like Japan, like the cultural appropriation stuff. I actually haven't been reading the headlines, but I do see it wash through Twitter. Like some people are trying to create some false narrative that like this is cultural appropriation because it's Americans who have made it or whatever. Most people laugh at that and ignore it, like shut the fuck up. I would think what the really interesting conversation is the fact that this is now the highest Metacritic rated game by user score for PlayStation 4 exclusives this generation. I think part of that has to be in response to The Last of Us 2. I think part of it is. Like, don't get me wrong, I think this is absolutely a 9 out of 10, whatever. But I feel like that level of user score at that level, it does feel like people are just sort of like tipping it over during that little bit.
Yeah.
Is this better than Bloodborne? I don't know about that one.
I haven't played Bloodborne, so I don't know, to be honest. But
is this better than God of War? I don't know about that one,
tough. It is tough.
It's tough.
I would say, I think I have a more of an affection for God of War.
Sure.
So maybe I'm looking through rose-colored glasses. I'm not sure, but I feel like this is still a damn good game.
Oh, and look, amazing!
We have seen now the user score have to be held back 24 hours or 48 hours.
36, I think.
Was it 3 days or so? I guess.
No. Like a day and a half.
A day and a half. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. 3 days, man. 36 hours. 3 days. That's a long time. Okay. Okay. So that is a seismic change within, I think, Metacritic trying to.
I don't think it is. I think it's so token.
No. Well, I mean, in terms of now seeing The Last of Us and seeing also Captain Marvel, those moments come along and they're trying to make actual changes to legitimize their kind of user scores and stuff.
Sure.
I wonder what other stuff we're going to see. We've already said in the past it'll be kind of cool to have to put your PSN into the actual browser so you can show that you've owned the game like Steam does.
Yeah. So, but obviously though, if you haven't checked out Ghost of Tsushima, check it out. It's an absolutely fantastic game. Just streamlines the open world genre just beautifully. I'm going to check out Horizon Zero Dawn on PC as well, actually. That'll be coming out soon. I'll check that out. Good comparison point, because I remember playing Horizon Zero Dawn and getting a bit tired of it after about 20 hours because it's very open worldy.
Thick Boy said the same thing.
Yeah, so
he's gone back to it now though. But he said originally when he played it. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go and check it out again on PC. See how I feel about it now, because there's also the complete edition that has the expansion and everything. We'll check it out. We've got here Francois Bergman is back. He says Android Wilson is still my favorite CEO, cybernetically enhanced organism, and he probably never touched a female. Well, I don't think that. He's a handsome man.
He's a handsome dude.
I think he would be.
And he's an Australian.
I think he'd just be fine with the ladies.
Australian accent works,
there
people.
There you go. We've got, let's see where we scroll down here. We've got Corey Weber. Ralph, I spent all last weekend building roads in Death Stranding. I have a problem. Hey, Sam. I know, isn't it satisfying building roads? It feels so good to like lay that down. You're like, yeah, I built that.
I'd love to go back now, given how long it's been, to see how much has developed in that game, in terms of the roads.
Oh, no, it's not like that. It's like, it's a cluster of people, and it actually erodes over time as well. Because of the time rain, all the stuff you build eventually erodes. Plus also in the front, well, I won't spoil it anyway. Yes. Sir Violent Death says, finally made it to one of your streams. Question, have either of you played Carrion?
Yes.
And what do you think of EA eyeing Warner Brothers games for acquisition?
I thought Carrion, from what we've played, I played about half of it now. I think it's about 3.5 hours. I probably played about an hour and a half or whatever. I thought it was fun, right? But it's not like, I wouldn't return to it. Personally, that's kind of what my vibe is. I think we were thinking of doing a review on it. That's why I started playing it.
Yeah,
we may, I guess, maybe in the future. I don't know. Probably not.
Probably not.
But And what was the other question?
And the other one was...
well, actually, why don't you first answer Carrion?
Oh, yeah, I've only played a bit of Carrion as well, and I very much enjoyed it. It feels beautiful to play. Like, the controls are so smooth and nice, but I haven't played enough of it to be able to say what I think of it yet. Yeah. I literally have only played, like, half an
And you're playing on Switch, aren't you?
I was playing on Switch, yes.
Yeah, cool.
Yes. And also, Warner Brothers being acquired by EA. There was also a rumor it's going to be acquired by Microsoft. Sure. I'd prefer it to be by Microsoft because they're doing some pro-consumer plays at the moment.
Yeah.
Whereas EA, not so much, especially considering our most recent story. So
yeah, I mean, I feel like, but Microsoft has so many studios under their belt right now. But EA's evil. That's ultimately where I'm going with that.
Nice.
That's where I'm ultimately going with that.
That's some quality pandering right there, Sam. You know your audience.
Thank you very much for my Xbox.
So we've got here, People Can Fly, the developers of...
I read this article, by the way. I'm like, is there any information in this?
There's no information here. So the guys who made Bulletstorm back in the day, they're now working on Outriders. They've just released a statement to say they're making another game. Yeah. And it's coming out at some point on next gen. It's AAA, and that's all we know. I find it interesting because they're still working on Outriders, and yet they're discussing the fact that they're making a new game. Why this sort of tickled my fancy or piqued my interest was because Outriders, I think we very much had a view that it was going to be a live service game driven by microtransactions. That's not the case. It's actually got no microtransactions, and they're not really planning for it to be a live service. They're just making a game, it seems, and then they're going to move on to the next game, you know. And I think when we saw Outriders, we very much saw, hey, that's Destiny. That's definitely Destiny, you know, like Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
But it turns out it's not Destiny, and this is further proof of that the fact that they're moving on to something else. It is being led by their New York team, so not their core studio, but they've got a different studio in New York. But there you go. People can fly. They're making more games.
Cool, I guess.
People can play, people can fly games.
But it's interesting to see an entire article and then like, oh, cool. There's like, they could have done that article in one sentence. Literally, we have a new game coming. Right. Thanks. Anyway, speaking of
top story,
something. Halo Infinite.
Halo Infinite.
I'll take this. Yeah.
Go on, Sam. You got this one. This is our big one. You can take it.
Here we go. Okay. Hey, everybody. Craig the Brute.
Craig the Brute.
Now, he has become probably the meme of 2020 within games.
He's a legend.
I think he's the meme of 2020 within games.
Sure.
For now, from what we've seen. Now, it's all looking very good, everybody. Okay? Now, we'll get to the graphics later on, but this is firstly Halo Infinite multiplayer. Now, on a particular website, I think it was called Smith's Toys.
Yes.
They were like, hey guys, jump into multiplayer, free to play. And also 120 FPS. So we don't know if that's a typo. It's probably not. It's been taken down since then, but it seems like multiplayer for Halo Infinite will be free to play with 120 FPS.
Sam, actually, I forgot to mention while we were talking this morning that this has been confirmed by 343.
It has now.
It has been confirmed. So we have. So we have confirmed. 343 have confirmed that a multiplayer side of Halo Infinite is going to be free to play, and yes, it will also target 120 FPS while you're doing that.
That's pretty crazy. I'm so glad that we're seeing that because we've seen more and more games, as we'll talk about later, also in Layman Live, going like, "Hey guys, 4K, 10 FPS." You know, like I'm just 30 FPS, man. Like. We've said this before, I'd much rather 60, 90, 120 FPS over a good old 4K. But
sure,
anyway, and we're seeing that happening a lot, but it is good to see this is going to be 120. And that may also explain why we've seen the graphics that we have actually
Yeah, that is true. That is true. I agree with that. I do think the announcement of free-to-play is pretty massive, obviously. It's the first time something like this has happened for a Halo game. It's kind of the first time I can think of this happening for any multiplayer. I mean, Halo's not multiplayer focused, but because I would say its single player and its multiplayer are equally important in Halo, right?
Yeah.
But it's a really big deal for a game to do this. Like, for example, you've had Battlefield and Call of Duty and Halo and whatever. Like, this is the first time we're seeing a game just go, cool, you can buy the single player, but the multiplayer is all free. That I can think of, unless I missed something.
Call of Duty, when they actually did
they have
own...
Warzone, but,
exactly.
But their multiplayer game, like, is still paid.
Of course.
Yeah.
In terms of them releasing something, though, that is a multiplayer phenomenon that you can jump in and play, and a very polished one at that.
Yeah.
It's very good. I thought that the... Blackout? No, that was the other one, right?
Blackout was first, but that was paid.
That's right, and the second one...
Warzone is free.
Warzone, exactly. Warzone is a very polished and still... surviving, in terms of its own little population. So it's doing quite well in that regard.
Sure.
This is probably a really good move, right? Because if they can do, look, if it's multiplayer and it's free, expect a cosmetic-driven microtransaction thing, right?
Here's the thing. They just said as well, there's no microtransactions in the game.
Then how the hell are they free to play?
Well, the rumor is it's going to be a battle pass, and it's going to monetize through that. Plus, also the fact that if you're on Game Pass, like they're assuming. Oh, I don't know. Obviously, I'm just guessing, right? But they did say in a recent GameSpot article. In fact, I think I have it. No, I don't. Here we go. This is it. I do have it. Here they say microtransactions. The 343 blog post, 343 address how Halo Infinite will be handled. Addressed how Halo Infinite will handle microtransactions. There will be no real money loot boxes, as you said, though the game is expected to feature microtransactions in other ways that have not been detailed yet, right? But the rumor has it that there is actually no microtransactions per se, and it's going to be like Battle Pass, right? So that's not confirmed. They might still have microtransactions. That is unconfirmed, but, you know,
look.
There you have it.
Maybe. Let's just say that they came out with a multiplayer that was completely free and it was only on the Xbox. Well, it's also going to be on PC.
And it's also on xCloud. If you have a Game Pass subscription, you have access to xCloud, you're going to be able to play that for free. You know?
I was going to say, maybe this is them just trying to push units, you know, like... They don't care about you having to not buy multiplayer as long as you got to buy the goddamn console. But that doesn't even work in this situation. So I'm wondering what that monetization looks like. Is it like a monthly subscription or something?
I mean, I don't think so.
Right?
I don't think we can expect... Look.
Maybe it's just that you just have to have, like, Game Pass, and it's only available in Game Pass. Like, that's a pretty smart way of doing it.
You can't call that free to play then. No, they wouldn't do that. So, look, I don't know. My point is, it could be terrible. Like, for example, Gears of War did have, like, $25 skins after you'd already bought the game for $60. I mean, yeah, Valorant's a free-to-play game, but even they're taking the piss with, like, you know, $90 skins, $300 skins if you want to fully upgrade them.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just feel like if I was a betting man, I would say Halo Infinite probably isn't going to have the worst microtransactions because I think...
Xbox doesn't really do terrible microtransactions. No,
but they do. They, like, as I said,
that's
Gears
was
shit. Forza has its, like, VIP pass and, like, you know, there's other examples.
It wasn't also
Halo 5 also had plenty of microtransactions as well. I just feel like, though, this generation, Xbox are trying to be more, like, pro-consumer.
Yep.
If I was a betting man, I would say that I'm not expecting the worst microtransactions, but we've been disappointed many times by many companies. It wouldn't be the first time. We'll see, I guess. But either way, the move to free-to-play is huge. The size potential for Halo after that, given that anyone with an Xbox or a PC or a Game Pass subscription playing on xCloud can play Halo Infinite's multiplayer on day one for free is crazy.
Yep.
Like, that is just massively game-changing.
I mean, the more I see about Xbox and, you know, its Game Pass and it's being PC integrated and, you know, xCloud with it being able to play on iPads and iPhones, I'm just like, I really, really wonder what the sales are going to look like.
For the X Series X?
We've already seen articles now saying that they expect the PlayStation to sell Xbox 2-to-1. Have you seen that article?
I didn't see that, actually.
Yeah, I saw one article, some analytics thing or whatever. Like,
there's always one of those.
Yeah, we're expecting it to sell 2-to-1. And that may be it, because if they are sticking to their promise of not having to buy any game for the next console within the next 2 years, it's going to be cross-gen.
Sure.
All their first-party studios. There's no immediate need to be buying anything on Xbox.
Yeah.
And if it's $500 and we're in the middle of a pandemic, like, it's going to be a tough decision for a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, for sure. I mean, I think the prevailing wisdom right now is that Microsoft don't really care if you buy the Series X or not.
That's what it sounds like.
But I feel like that's fine. I mean, there's no money in consoles, okay? At least not for the first, like, few years of a generation. They're typically sold at a loss or at cost. They want to get their install base in there so they can then make money on the royalties from game sales. That's been the console model forever. It's unlikely to be any different here, given the cost of the components within this unit. They're not making huge margin on it if they sell it for $500 or $600. I'm sorry, but they're not, right? The sooner these companies can get out of the hardware business, I reckon they'll be laughing when they do. They want to sell games. That's why they make their money. If they can just forget about hardware, outsource that, make all our devices completely generic, whatever, stream our stuff from the cloud, and they just focus on publishing games, I reckon that is unquestionably the future. And I think Microsoft is trying to steer towards that this generation, where Sony, it seems as though, is not really moving in that direction, at least not yet. I don't know if they will.
I feel like the cards have really been quite close to Sony in terms of what their cloud like marketing budget is. You know, like I'm just not hearing anything about this. Where it feels like, you know, Xbox is going all in with Game Pass, with cloud, with like just a fat catalog of like free, like $10 a month games, like 100 or something games on Game Pass.
Sure.
Where where PlayStation is now having a few things on PS Now that we're seeing more and more that are like attractive to jump on, but it's not really like their core value. But anyway, we'll see what they do in the future.
We had someone in the chat, Bubbles, said Game Pass is low quality gaming. Dude, how could you say that?
How can you say that?
That's crazy. That's just crazy.
Stadia is low quality gaming.
That is
low quality gaming.
That is low quality gaming right there. Guys, one thing that I would say though is that is concerning about Halo Infinite that we saw was that there's
the graphics.
There might not. Well, okay, the graphics we'll come back to, right? But there was another thing that was actually quite concerning, and that is there may not be a multiplayer beta. Okay, so the same from the same article from GameSpot. It reads the blog post also tells a multiplayer. It states that 343 may not be able to deliver a pre-release beta as it originally planned to. Quote, our original plans for large-scale flighting aren't where they we originally intended, in large part due to the challenges of working from home during COVID. At this time, we're honestly not sure if it's going to be possible in terms of flighting, but we still hope to have an opportunity for broader public hands-on before release. And as we previously stated, we'll be relying on flighting and continued feedback and community partnerships well beyond launch as we grow and evolve the game together. So,
what the hell is flighting?
Flighting is what they're calling like their betas, essentially.
Why is that? That's weird. I've never heard any beta
no, because all of
flighting.
the Master Chief collection on PC stuff is called flighting. Maybe it's like an IT term that gets used in corporate, but they're just rolling it over here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never heard of it either.
It is. Look, I feel like the multiplayer market and like the kind of environment is moving more and more toward, like, if you have a decent game coming out, a big game, there is a beta of some capacity to jump on and test the servers and everything. Like, I can't think of a game that hasn't come out in the last like 5 years that people are talking about, that there isn't some sort of closed beta or open beta like that is
There's
done
usually,
like always, right?
For
like,
the really big ones, it's like all of them.
and for them to be like, because COVID and whatever, and there's home working situations, other studios are also dealing with that, and I think that we've seen betas since the whole COVID thing. But I mean, maybe this is a real. It is hard for them to not be at the center of the database thing, or I don't know, right? I don't know, right?
They're going to be at the center of the database, guys.
In terms of the mainframe computers.
The mainframe. They're going to be at the center of the mainframe.
Computers.
Look, this is something that I really wonder what the story is with Halo Infinite's development and 343, because right now it's been very late to show us information.
Very late.
The follow-up to this as well, and in fact this is actually the next story, is that the 343 have actually recognized and admitted that their graphics kind of sucked and they've got work to do there. Okay, so in the same blog post, there is a quote here that says when they're talking about graphics, the first thing they say is, hey, listen, we've gone back to a more classic visual style that focus on, that more contrasting color palette, brighter, more arcadey, and I'm actually okay with that. I like the fact that it's going back to that more classic look as opposed to the looks of 4 and 5, which is just like gunmetal everywhere and blue lines of technology and what. No, okay, so it's cool. I like the choice. The other thing is about, hey, your actual graphics though, they kind of suck. In response, 343 says, the second theme being discussed involves visual fidelity. Negative feedback in this area includes comments around characters and objects appearing flat, simplistic and plastic light, lighting feeling dull and flat, and object pop-in. We've read your comments, we've seen the homemade examples of retouch content, and yes, we've heard the Digital Foundry assessments. They did a very good video on this, by the way. In many ways, we are in agreement here. We do have work to do to address some of these areas and raise the level of visual fidelity and overall presentation of the final game. The build used to run the campaign demo was work in progress from several weeks ago, with a variety of graphical elements and game systems still being finished and polished. While some of the feedback was expected and speaks to areas already in progress, other aspects of the feedback have brought new opportunities and considerations to light that the team is taking very seriously and working to assess. They don't have firm answers yet, but they're working on it and they're going to work on it. So,
look,
that's
look, I understand it's kind of cool that they've gone back to the oldest, like the kind of traditional style. Maybe that lent to why people were like, oh, what's going up with the graphics, because there was this particular art style that they were leaning towards. It's good that they've kind of spoken about the graphics. They said it was an older build, but I mean, every developer always says it's an older build kind of thing.
Sure.
Do I think we're going to see massive changes before this game comes out? Maybe, but I don't think that's going to be the big talking point once this game actually comes out. Although it might be a bit of a meme, but like it's not really why people were going to be playing the next Halo. You know what I mean?
I disagree with that. I mean, I feel like this is next gen, right? The start of next gen. And I think that when you have a next-gen console, you want next-gen graphics.
I agree with that.
These are clearly not next-gen graphics, and I think a lot of people... And the reason for that, obviously, is because it also needs to run on the Xbox One S, which is essentially a calculator at this point. Okay?
Yeah.
So I feel like people do spend money on consoles because they want next-gen graphics. They do really love their games looking incredible, and I feel like this graphical issue is a serious problem. You know?
I hear you. I'm talking more. If I'm about to walk into a game shop and buy Halo, I'm not gonna not buy it because maybe the graphics didn't look as good as I wanted on next gen. It's one of the most beloved IPs.
I think some people will. Not necessarily if you're a hardcore Halo fan, but if you were just on
Halo.
the
That was great.
Halo.
Oh, that was
I think
actually great.
we're gonna roll with that for a while. I think if you were just more of a casual fan, and because some people remember how at the start of every next gen you buy lots of games you don't necessarily want to buy because you're like, oh, I really want to check. There's nothing else to buy, right? And you really want to see what it looks like, so you'll buy like some
Wave Racer.
Dude,
that was a good game.
How dare you disrespect Wave Racer? What the hell? I'm ending the stream right now.
Echo the Dolphin. I think that was one of the first games. No, that was a good game. But that was one of the first games that came out on GameCube. Would you have bought, like, what the hell was Echo? But we bought it because we didn't know it was one of the first games on GameCube.
Are you fucking crazy?
Dreamcast, sorry, Dreamcast.
Okay, first of all, Echo was on the Sega Genesis first, and then it came to Dreamcast, and both of those games were incredible.
No, they were, but what I'm saying, it was one of the opening stuff that came out on that particular system. So that was a guiding force.
We didn't buy it as a pity launch. It's like when we bought like Madden or whatever. Well, we need some next gen games or whatever.
No. But you know, you jump on certain titles because you're like, all right, well, there's not a lot else going on. I'll give this a go. And luckily, it was a good game. That's what I'm saying. Okay, luckily, it was a damn
Loved
game.
Echo the Dolphin.
Echo was a really good game.
Shit, man,
was the next one on GameCube or Dreamcast?
It was Dreamcast.
Yeah, Dreamcast.
It was Dreamcast. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Anyway, it is a big problem for Halo, right? For 343 to solve this sort of stuff, and I am definitely very sympathetic to the COVID thing. Like, totally. I don't think it can be like, well, just bad luck, work through it. No, the world is different right now. We have to recognize that. But at the same time, I don't feel like they should be releasing a game if it's not finished. And the way they're talking here, again, they're 4 months from launch. They're not going to have a multiplayer beta, and you know, it's just. I don't know, man. I get
it's a wrong move.
I get the vibe that this game is in a little bit of trouble. I'm not looking at this feeling fully confident that like, oh yeah, everything's under control. Multiplayer's going to be fantastic. The graphics going to be incredible. Campaign's going to be great. None of that is really kind of like, you know.
This is the thing, right? When you are going to show the first gameplay for your next system seller, because the Halo is, let's face it, I mean, it really is going to be dictating the first couple of months, I think, of how those of how the Xbox sells. And you show us kind of very simplistic terrain, and you show us enemies that, I mean, I know that we want to see the traditional enemies, but also we want to see some new stuff. It just. You know, if you walked past that, you know, at a game show, you might be thinking, oh, that must be the retro section where they're showing, you know, Halo ODST. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's so hard.
But you know what I mean? Like, it didn't really demonstrate terrain-wise, like, enemy-wise, and just, like, cinematically what to expect from the next Halo. It showed this, like, really weird mocap of, like, the other Craig Grunt or Brute, like, giving some monologue, very Destiny-esque, actually, I thought.
It was like Gaul.
Yeah. And I thought that this was just, it was not looking like it was going in the right direction on a lot of fronts. If you're going to show 5 minutes of gameplay, and I'm the developer, I want to show the best damn 5 minutes I can. And if that's some of their best 5 minutes, they're in trouble. They're in trouble.
I low-key agree with that. I do.
Yeah.
Mario Shasson, he's here. He says his weekly dono for his favorite channel. Hope you lads are doing well. And yes, you're not the only ones going back into lockdown. UK here. I see Clash Royale and I raise you raid. Marky Mint for $1. He's here. Thank you very much. Welcome back, Marky. Zendru is here. Morning, lads. Hope you're both well. Good to see that hat collection behind you. Also, Ralph.
Yes, we wanted to put it in the camera this time. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's nice.
We've got some plans for our backdrop. It's all coming, people.
Zendru says, only one more week until the new Nier raid in Final Fantasy XIV. I need to make time for that. This is a very busy month for reviews, though, to be honest, but we'll see what we can do. Defish is here with £20. Very generous, thank you. Saw Shillup mentioned in the Girlfriend Reviews 1 million subs vid. Looks like they...
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, because no, on the very first...
I remember, yep.
Yeah, on the very first Girlfriend Reviews video, I said in before 1 million subs. And because as soon soon as I saw it, I'm like, these guys are going to explode. And sure enough, they exploded. And now they're at 1 million subs. They did a great little video. Go check them out. One of my favorite channels. They're awesome. They said, looks like they want in on the Layman Yong Angry Joe collab when it happens.
That'd be great. If they were at E3, it'd be great to sit down with them.
Super fun, yeah.
That'd be super.
So, what else have we got? Wow, there's quite a few. We'll do a bit of catch up now, guys. We've got quite a few here. We've got The Real Society, $7.99. Hey guys, g'day from Perth. Was wondering if you'll ever do Half-Life Alyx review. Now it has become an all-time favorite of mine. What an experience.
I know. Look,
Sam's waiting on me, basically.
£50, by the way. Dude, my man.
Ram Azam, thank you very much. Extremely generous. We appreciate you, Ram.
Pretty much. Thank you very much. Pretty much my favorite game, I think, of 2020, apart from like Ghost and whatever. Half-Life Alyx was unbelievable. Ralph has yet to play it, and I am so looking forward to you actually playing it. And I will sit down for a review anytime because people will still tune in for that. I think.
I agree. Yeah.
Amazing game. The only problem is it didn't get a lot of like. We're talking to someone that's in the VR world, actually, another YouTuber. He was like, there's no lot. There's no.
His name's
replay.
Mully, Sam. He has a name. Okay.
Now he was like, there's no replayability with this thing, so I don't think a lot of people stuck around. And there wasn't a big life cycle of talking about Half-Life Alyx. That's where I'm going with that.
I mean, Yeah, but it's not... Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, sure. A Filthy Casual, finally get to see you guys live. What do you think of Gabe Newell's saying he prefers Xbox Series X to PlayStation 5? Did you see that? He was on the New Zealand project.
Of course.
And Gabe's like...
Why was he on the New Zealand project?
No, because he was stuck in New Zealand because of COVID.
But he should have been in Australia.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. Well, maybe we'll fly over to New Zealand and meet him.
Yeah, we good.
New Zealand probably won't let us in.
No, they won't let us in 14 days.
So, anyway, Gabe basically went on television to say that the Xbox Series X is better. Didn't say why. He just said it was. So
yes, they did ask him to elaborate, and he goes, "Because it just is."
Just is. That's a man you can tell never has to explain himself in any part of life.
He doesn't have to explain himself. He really doesn't.
He doesn't. So Juan Ignacio Romero is here with 50 Mexican dollars, I believe. Hey guys from Mexico, love the show. Did you see Halo Infinite? Multi will be free to play. My guess is that the free means Xbox Live is going away though. That's another thing we haven't talked about. There is a rumor right now circulating that Xbox Live will disappear. Xbox Live has always been a kind of garbage product. Same with PS Plus. They're basically charging you for the right to play multiplayer games. And it's kind of like, well, PC games don't charge that, so why do console games
PlayStation 3 didn't do that
either?
They only implemented that on PlayStation 4. So like they just were like, well, this is free money.
This is working, free money, let's do it.
And this is working for Xbox. So why don't we just do this?
So yes, the rumor is that they're getting rid of that and that you'll be able to subscribe to Game Pass or Game Pass Ultimate. And that Xbox Live will disappear, meaning that, free-to-play games right now, you still need to have Xbox Live to play free-to-play games. Yeah. So then that requirement will disappear, which means that you can play anything on Xbox for free.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of companies don't just want to like give money back, so it makes sense that Xbox is maybe just going to bundle it in with their Game Pass, so they get you into that ecosystem. Well,
not bundle it, just delete it, because then if it's bundled in, it means you can pay for it by other means. So
yeah, but like with Game Pass Ultimate, that's a tiered system above Game Pass, right?
Yeah,
that's what I mean. So the Game Pass Ultimate may just include that. Like you have to have Game Pass Ultimate.
No. But what I'm saying to you is that
they're going to delete
it entirely. Yeah, that's the rumor.
And what I'm saying is that but they may just want to put it into the top system.
Because if you need Game Pass, if you need Xbox Live, then you have to pay for Game Pass Ultimate.
Yes,
that would be unfair. That would forcing people to pay more money every month to play multiplayer games. I doubt they would do that. I doubt it. But look, either way, we don't know. That's just rumors at this point. So that's that. Joe Evil says, first time catching up, my favorite gaming channel. Keep up the good work, guys. Thank you very much, friend. Loser is here. You're not a loser, friend. You're a winner.
You're a cool dude. Dude for $20.
He says, took off work, finally get to catch up with the layman. Easily the best gaming channel. All I ask is more of this thickness. Well, I'm trying to fill the thickness quota right now.
Thick in my Seinfeld jumper.
In the quarantine while.
I got this new jumper, by the way.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that.
On our merch store right now, limited time. Okay, it's been there for a few months, but it's going to be limited time. Okay, we're going to actually take it away soon.
Why did you get that?
Well, I need a new merch, everybody.
Why? Okay. I smell microtransaction buffet says Coco Puff, $5. Thank you very much. Nova Bomb says Fat Geralt is the gaming meme of 2020. Don't lie. I feel like that was last year. Well,
Fat Geralt?
There's a Fat Geralt image out there. Okay. Mike Morris says the donation is for Thick Boy only. Also, do you guys plan on checking out the Avengers beta? Yes, we will check that out.
Definitely. And the donation is not going to Thick Boy, sadly.
We actually did check that out. We played Avengers before.
We played before.
It was fun, but we have some questions. The beta trailer that came out recently, 9 minutes, looked so much better. A lot more content, just more stuff. I don't know. It gets a lot of grief about the whole. Like, there was a tweet doing the rounds recently about the currency screen and all the stuff, and everyone's like, "We're so over this." And like, I get that. I'm also somewhat over this. I'm still very skeptical about the live service components of this game, for sure. I still think it'll be a fun Avengers game, but will I want to play it for 100 hours? I don't know.
That's the thing. I mean, we played it a while back now, but like, I don't know how much change they can make within that time. But you're right. That a 9-minute clip really did show us a lot of features to expect, a lot of like experiences to expect. So I'm keen to see what it is.
Guys, did you know that Sekiro, everyone's second favorite samurai game, from Soft fans, triggered.
Yep.
It is getting an update on October 29th. It's a free update that brings gauntlets and remnants.
A bunch of things actually, but it sounds like the major things of this was cosmetic items and the ability to replay certain bosses, which is pretty cool because that was the thing, right? If you kill a boss, it's done. You can't actually go back and actually do it again.
Yes.
So that'll be fun.
This will be in their Gauntlets of Strength challenge, which is like you have one life and you can see how far you can make it kind of thing with that one life. And then there's also Reflections of Strength, rematches against any previously defeated boss. And there's also something called Remnants, which basically allow you to see the path that someone took over something or doing something. So instead of just having a little note on the ground like they do in other FromSoft games, then you'll be able to kind of like see the actual like a holographic image of someone doing something and follow that or ignore that. You know what I mean? So that's kind of cool.
That's very cool. I just want to say $100. Thank you very much. That is very. I hate passwords. No, seriously. It's very nice of you, my dude. Thank you very much.
Love the content and keep up the good work, lads. Have a few on me. That's more than a few.
It's more than a few.
That's
in freedom dollars.
That's a big night out for most people, but a very small night for Thick Boy.
That's $7,000 US. Thank you. Sorry for Australian, everybody. But you know, the major update that we're missing is the difficulty. Okay, people still want to see difficulty different settings in Sekiro, but I mean, I can't get past the monkey boss. Okay, I legitimately can't get past the monkey boss.
He is a pain in the ass.
He is a pain. I thought I killed him, and then he picked up his head. I'm like, oh, okay.
Just when I thought I was out,
he's back.
Pulled him back in.
Okay,
so then, the other update we have here, the story going on right now that sort of broke over the last few weeks, but really there was a lot of light shone on it last week by Jason Schreier's detailed reporting on the matter, is the culture of abuse at Ubisoft. Ubisoft certainly aren't the only studio with issues in this regard, but it's certainly one of the most egregious examples right now, given you've got stories of sexism, racism, homophobia, general office abuse,
bro culture in a way that excludes other people and whatever.
All sorts of stuff happening there. And yeah, really terrible, really sort of very negatively affecting people. A lot of people speaking about it on Twitter. Ubisoft have responded to it, and they've definitely taken some steps already. They've talked about already needing to include like a metric there, which is like workplace inclusivity.
Yep.
So the more inclusive you make the workplace, the better your performance review at the end of the year. The other thing they're doing is like exiting a whole bunch of douchebags, and some of them are really senior. So for example, the number 2 man in the company was recently ousted.
Yep.
Kind of sucks that these people aren't fired and they just get like golden parachutes and they're just quietly asked to leave, and they'll probably get a massive payout. That's not justice, but anyway, that's how, unfortunately, the corporate world often works. But yeah, so the questions now turn to the CEO. And it's like, dude, what did you know and when did you know it? And what did you do about it? And the CEO here is very much like, wasn't me, guys. He's like,
it's quite a murky answer, I would say.
Yeah, he says,
it's not even clear, really, it's not really giving an actual answer here.
He says, each time I've been made aware of misconduct, we made tough decisions and made sure that those decisions had a clear and positive impact. It has now become clear that certain individuals betrayed the trust I placed in them and didn't adhere to Ubisoft's shared values. So I have never compromised on my core values and ethics, and I never will. I think what he was saying is, I've never done anything wrong, but I trusted some other people, and they did the wrong thing. And it's like, well, he's been in charge of Ubisoft for like 30 years. I think it's very, very unlikely that this guy didn't know what was going on at Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But the first line, each time we've been made aware of misconduct, we've made tough decisions. What does that even really mean when he goes on to say, you know, I place trust in certain people? I don't like. It doesn't sound like a definitive. Yes, I did know, or no, I did not know, or I was made aware and I actually didn't act properly or something, you know?
Yeah,
anyway,
it's very mealy-mouthed.
It does seem like, I was going to say, it does seem like now it is, all eyes seem to be on the CEO. I wonder what's going to happen, though. I wonder if I think he's the youngest of five, of the five.
I think he's like the middle brother or something.
Is he the middle brother?
I think something like that. But like, it just feels like, you know, if Ubisoft is going to really go through this sort of cultural transformation that's needed, and he's been CEO for 30 years, it doesn't seem like he's the right person to lead them through this next chapter. It's like, okay, maybe it's time for him to hang up his reins and move on. Do you know what I mean? Because it just seems unfathomable to me that he didn't know what was going on and that he did everything he could to stamp it out.
Yeah.
And it feels like with, you know, generational change comes huge opportunities for improvement. Maybe this is his time. Again, we don't know exactly what he knew, but at the same time, I just think it's very unlikely he didn't know anything about it.
I think it's extremely unlikely. You know, I think, I mean, we are yet to see what happens in that space.
Yeah. Apparently someone's saying they were having meetings in strip clubs. I mean,
hear that,
yes. I've heard stories of many companies used to do this. It's crazy to me. Can you imagine if you got invited to a meeting at a strip club now in 2020? Like, what would you say? You'd just be like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
it's just crazy. Anyway.
So Layman no longer can have those meetings in the strip clubs.
When we first started our channel,
we got to stop that now.
We've got to stamp those out.
Yeah.
So guys, next, actually, we'll do a few more super chats. Shattered88 says, have you guys heard about the Suikoden spiritual successor on Kickstarter now, on and F Konami? Okay. I actually backed that Kickstarter, by the way. So yes, I've definitely heard about it. It looks great, and I'm very excited for it. So good luck to that dev team. Adam says, good to see both you guys. Hope you had a great holiday, Ralph. Also, can you let me out of the basement now? Sam, it's been 7 months. Sam, who's Adam and why is he in your basement?
Oh, Adam, I thought, how the hell did you get a phone?
How did you get a phone?
How did you get an internet connection? I'll be home soon.
Akshay is back here. Your wife was here a moment ago, and now it's you. My wife has just started playing Overwatch with the squad.
Good choice.
Right now at night. Sam, give her some advice to get better than Ralph at least. Don't listen to Sam.
I use Moira because I don't have to aim. That's, or Reinhardt.
That's all you really need to know.
That's what I do. I'm not in a position to give actual advice.
Someone says, Bijan Nasser, asked, do you think the Halo campaign will be worth $60? Would the layman get it?
That's a weird concept because the multiplayer is free, it kind of makes the campaign need to value more. Do you know what I mean by that?
I know exactly right.
Do you know what I mean by that? Like, well, you expect now that to be a $60 campaign on its own kind of thing.
But yeah, I mean, you could just buy it on Game Pass for $15 for the month or whatever, $10 for the month,
or $1 for the first 10 days or whatever it is. You can finish it in 10 days.
If you're someone that really wants to own your games, though, I don't know. I mean, if the campaign will be worth $60. Oh, look.
From what we've seen, it doesn't look likely. Not right now.
It's too early to say.
I know.
Like, if it's 30 solid hours of great, amazing set-piece gameplay and we love it, it's awesome, then sure, absolutely. I have no problem paying $60 for games that are 5 hours long or 3 hours long if they're worth it. Do you know what I mean? I've never had that equation in my mind. It's just about quality, you know, and if they deliver a really quality product, I certainly wouldn't mind paying for it, but I won't be paying for it. I will get it on Game Pass.
I don't think there's any game now that it's going forward on Xbox that I will not first check if it's on Game Pass.
Of course. No, well, I mean, most of them just will be.
All of them on the first-party studio, they will be, right? I think there's an undertaking of all first-party studio games. So,
Shiloh says, Sam, studies indicate that smoking can be hazardous to your health. You should pick up a paper from the 60s.
Well, look, I mean, I was reading a paper from the 60s and it says, you know, my doctor trusts a particular brand. So right. I was, I agree with that. Okay?
Stardust Rosa for $10. Toss a coin to the beautiful boys. Can't wait for Halo. Looks like to be the narrative shift that me and many other fans have been waiting for. There you go. Cool. All right, nice.
Okay.
Glad to see someone actually excited about Halo because there's so much negativity.
I'm excited for it.
I'm excited for it.
Definitely.
But I feel like everything we're talking about now is the negativity rather than the hype.
It's no Cyberpunk.
It's no Cyberpunk,
it's no
that's
Cyberpunk.
for sure. Schnaggies said, Review Tech USA has verified sources at 343 that Halo Infinite is in major development hell. Go back and check that out. Tell us what you think. I think it's very telling. Boobs and a nip sometimes.
Okay.
That was
very much for your donation.
But yeah, I mean, obviously I can't comment on his sources, but if he says that he's got one that says that, then fair enough.
I'm sure we're going to see a Jason Schreier article in 6 months saying, guys, it was Anthem. It was Anthem 2.0 before we saw Anthem 2.0. In terms of just like the... maybe it's just in utter dismay.
Max DX says, hey boys, definitely meant Tanner. Excuse my spelling.
Tanner,
I clean sewers for a living. Holy shit. And you can imagine what that's like at the moment. I imagine that's not very good at the best of times. Insider tip about the sewer COVID-19 tests in Sydney. Stay inside, boys. Wow. Okay, well, that's damning and scary. And
that's very nice. Well, we appreciate the $20. Really we might have to sanitize that $20. We can receive it.
What have we got here? We've also got... okay, let's get back to some news here. Guys, one thing we've got to mention about Ubisoft is they will do anything to avoid making a new Splinter Cell game, including making a new animated series.
Very true. Okay, so it's been a hell of a long time. We actually, in the last little Sam Fisher game, there was a little reference to the demise of Snake. No, sorry, it was just a reference to Solid Snake, actually. It wasn't a reference to the demise of Solid Snake. But it's been a hell of a long time since we've seen anything from Splinter Cell. We are excited maybe now in the future that we are going to see some sort of Splinter Cell game. There has been a change of guard within Ubisoft, so maybe is the time that we are going to see one. But until then, the only news that we do have is there's going to be a Ubisoft anime series, 2 series, with 16 episodes each series planned. So 32 episodes. 32. That's right. 32 episodes, everybody. I knew that, just testing you guys.
Quick maths.
Quick maths. So that's exciting. And this is further just confirming what I knew and what we had prophesized a year ago. That this is going to be the age of the video games now. It's not the Marvel universe. It's the video game universe. That's what's going to be the next thing. We're seeing The Witcher. We're seeing the this 7 different directors. Uncharted movie.
Cyberpunk's getting a TV show.
Exactly, and a comic book. Oh, well, comic book, whatever. But we're also seeing Sony Studios. They've got plans there too. I mean, it's just like it's just all around. It just seems like everyone is jumping on the video game IP train.
Sure.
I just hope that the first 2 or 3 IPs really smash it out of the park, kind of like Witcher did. And then I think everyone will jump in and try and make it work.
Sure. Oh my god, this guy is insane. I hate passwords. No, seriously.
That's very nice of you.
Gave us another $100.
That's very nice.
That's just too much.
That is too much now.
You gotta stop giving us money.
You are a good dude.
He says, I used to smoke Marlboro Reds that would rip out the filter rather than smoke. Did that for 5 years, quitting for a total of 3 years now. Is one of the best decisions I ever made, you degenerate.
Listen, that $100 can buy a couple of smokes.
So bad. No. I hate passwords. Do not give us any more money, okay?
No, that's very nice.
Sam is just going to blow it on cigarettes.
I appreciate
exactly contrary to your very generous message. Yes. So anyway, let's keep moving, shall we? Sam is just speaking of wasting your money. Hey, Star Citizen. We haven't spoken about this because honestly, I cannot be fucked talking about this game anymore.
Surprised.
I wouldn't even call it a game. It's just some Ponzi scheme. Star Citizen Dev offers a roadmap for development of a new roadmap. Now,
which is a murky comment in itself, really, with how he even says this doesn't really make a lot of sense. Before we even get there, Muzok is actually a true believer of this. I was speaking to him.
No way.
He's a true believer of this.
I cannot believe he's that much of a sucker.
He's even played it. This is Pizza Ralph.
Ralph.
He has played the game. He's got a ship in this game. We won't go into what kind of ship or whatever. I don't know. But
so what you're saying is only rich YouTubers can afford to play this game.
Yes.
Is what you're saying.
So we cannot play it.
So anyway, this is what happened, right? This game has been in development forever, and it's still not out. It's nowhere near coming out after at least, I think it's been in 8 years since Star Citizen launched its first Kickstarter. 8 years now. Okay. People have given this company $306 million. Okay. Still not out. Still no sign of when it's coming out. The developers were getting a lot of heat recently about the fact that there's a lack of updates. And so what the developers did, like no trolling at all, is that they put out a statement saying that they're planning their roadmap. So like, they're not even saying, here's the roadmap. They're saying, we're planning a roadmap and we're very excited for the roadmap. We can't wait for you guys to see the roadmap. They're hyping up their motherfucking roadmap rather than actually just releasing it. It's Monty Python, man. They're completely off the charts.
I think this has been in development now longer than they've probably been making next. Like it's just like they've been
entire console generation.
Yeah, it's longer than the entire console generation and how long they've been working on the next gen console. They can't get once. I understand that this is a gigantic task that they're trying to do, but man, this is just getting ridiculous now. Like, people do not invest anything more until we actually start seeing an actual finished product, not just some concept that they have, like Mark Hamill walking around. And I know you can go to certain worlds and kind of interact with that world, and it's fleshed out in some capacity. But like, dude, I would not invest in this at all. But who knows? Maybe they will do something in the future.
It just continues to blow my mind. I reckon what's going to happen with this is just going to get sold for parts. Like, I reckon they are developing some new tech. I reckon they'll eventually just release a game and then whatever, and then they'll end up just like licensing out their tech in the future. Like, I've never seen one person say, "Oh, this is actually a pretty cool game. It's going to be fun." Like, no, but like, did he say right now it is a fun game to play? He says right now it's fun to play.
He said that there's a gameplay loop issue. There's no core gameplay loop, but when you jump in, he said it was quite impressive, and he was blown away by some of the technology.
So there's no video game. But that's exactly what I said. The technology is cool. I don't expect there to be a cool game at the end of this. I reckon they'll just sell the tech for parts.
For sure. But he did enjoy jumping into that world, even if it was lacking actual gameplay loop at this moment. That's where I'm going with that. But so Pizza Ralph did enjoy that.
Unpopular for $5 says, I'm seeing Jim Sterling was right. People are actually saying games as a service is good under the guise of pro-consumer a la carte. I mean, like, some games as a service can be good, you know, like, it all depends.
World of Warcraft was quite good for
games
a long
as
time.
A service, and like that definition depends. It all just depends. Make a good games as a service and we're okay with it. Make a bad one and it's shit. Simple, really. Rico says, water is not wet, it just makes things wet.
That's deep, man.
I don't think about that for a second.
That's deep. Water is wet. Water is not wet. It just makes things
wet. I feel like the haiku music is coming in
Yeah.
now from Ghost of Tsushima. He says Halo nostalgia is a reason to buy Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite is not a reason to buy an Xbox Series X, and that is a problem for Phil. I do agree with that. Unless Halo is a system seller, it does hurt them by some means. Yep. Juan Merez says, love the channel, guys. Hope all is well and stay safe, boys. Thank you, friend. Morgan says, gentlemen, welcome back, Ralph. Hope you're doing well. What's your best sentence in American accent? Hey, Sam.
Why am I getting the hey Sam a lot this time?
What's your best sentence in American accent, Sam?
Depends on if you want a southing accent like this, you know.
All right. Don't you wish you
were... Or like
were...
from California?
Don't, please. Have you guys heard of In-N-Out Burger?
I love In-N-Out Burger.
Good.
I had Five Guys the other night. Jesus, did you?
Do you know that?
That's what I first heard when I went to America. Like, I spoke to them, like, yeah, I had Five Guys last night. It was so good. I'm like, well, holy shit. America is crazy.
They're bringing Five Guys to Sydney, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right.
He says, what have we got? FK. Fitzgerald says, what's up, layman? What exclusive are you most excited about for this fall? Cyberpunk, obviously.
Exclusive.
Exclusive?
It's exclusive, guys. I'm excited for that.
The only exclusive we know about for this fall is Halo, because PlayStation hasn't really said what's coming out this fall, so I think it's pretty much just Halo.
God of War 2.
By default, yeah. Drake AU says, I understand Joe Rogan's take on gaming somewhat. I regret dedicating so much time to World of Warcraft when I could have been learning new skills. I mean, as someone who totally spent way too much time playing World of Warcraft, Sam knows about this, because we shared a room while I was in my Warcraft years. I don't know, man. You could have been learning piano. You could have been... going to the gym, you could have been doing all sorts of stuff, but at the end of the day, man, everyone does what they... No one has any obligation to be productive all the time. Like, you know
the idea that everything that you do must have an end result of a financial gain or a career gain. It's not true. You know, like if someone loves to do judo, as good old Joe says, jiu-jitsu, then you're okay to do that and not want to do anything except be social with people and enjoy yourself.
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't know. Like, again, obviously, it's not either or. Like, you can... I mean, look, it's possible to say I just spent a bit too much time playing World of Warcraft and I could have done other things. Sure, I do agree with that, but, everyone's different. I mean, I'm where I am today, I think, in large part because of World of Warcraft. It's just radicalizing me and making me a massive
that's a unique
nerd.
situation.
That's a very unique situation. But same with opening a jiu-jitsu dojo. I think that's also a very unique situation. Like, it's, you know what I mean? I think you've got more chance of becoming a professional content creator these days than you do of opening a dojo. Let's just say that. That is my hot take on that.
Maybe.
Yeah, you don't need to be ninja to be... you can grind out a comfortable living right now in content creation in a variety of ways, and I think there's way more chance of that now than like I'm going to open a dojo and have you know what I mean? Like how many dojos are there in Sydney? What that mean?
I actually live next to one, believe it or not. But anyway,
I don't believe that. I think you just made that up.
It's really fascinating.
Anyway, guys, let's do. It's really fascinating. Let's do some quick Epic game news. Did you know that mod support and achievements are coming to?
Which is pretty cool.
The Epic Game Store. So Epic Game now less bad, still
less
bad. Less bad.
More features. Still many features.
That's right.
I mean, what features are really missing now? Do they have user reviews?
No, they don't.
Don't have that yet. No. Do they have a friend list? Do they have that? They do have that now. Okay.
Well, do
they have international pricing? Have they done that yet?
Yes, they have that.
Oh, they've got that now. Okay. They're slowly but surely getting there.
They have a lot of stuff for sure. But yeah, mods is certainly one of the big gaps, and they're just starting to fill that now. MechWarrior 5 is the first game that will get mods, so... Good guy, Tim Sweeney. Am I right? PC Game subreddit.
That dude.
They love him.
Look, I mean,
/rfuck Epic. Very mad right now. And also, Epic Games free games this week. We've got
2XX, or is that 2000 or whatever?
I think it's 20XX.
20XX.
And also Baroni and also Sword.
That's
Super Brothers.
That's on that 7th. That's next week.
No, all 3.
Oh, it is 2, sorry. Yeah.
Super Brothers, Sword and Sorcery. I don't know what any of these games are, so I can't comment on them, but they are video games.
Free now, so yeah.
They are video games that exist, and you can certainly play them. One thing to get excited about this week, though, if you have a PlayStation, is the PS Plus games this week. While Xbox is slouching on its games with Gold program because Game Pass is such good value, PlayStation's like, what can we do? How about we give Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 remastered? Not bad. And Fall Guys, which is coming out this week.
That's right. You were playing. Were you playing that?
I played it. It's so much fun.
Yeah,
it's basically Takeshi's Castle. You know those like Japanese game shows where people get like coat hanged by those foam roller things, and they have to make it to the end of an obstacle course. Yeah. That game is coming for free. On like
a great Twitch game actually. But look, I mean, that's why I said earlier in Layman Live that it seems like that PlayStation is doing something. PlayStation Plus is doing a little bit more in that capacity. We're seeing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. That's a decent game to get out of that for a month. I haven't played Fall Guys yet, but we will
play it this week actually, guys. I've organised some codes for us, and it's really fun. It's some of the clips on Twitch are just people like just getting completely KO'd
Correct.
And just like they're this close to victory and someone can like grab them and drag them back and like it's so funny.
Oh, so it's very much like the good old Mario Kart, the blue shell moment.
All that stuff.
Before the line, on the third race, then you lose.
Yeah, for sure.
We're running over time now.
We are running over time. So we'll canter through the other stuff very quickly. The last 2 stories we want to do. Number 1, Cuphead is also out on PS4.
Which was a surprise
announcement. Came out this week. They were just like, hey, by the way, Cuphead's here and you can play it right now.
I mean, how much work is it to port from Xbox to PlayStation? Are they the same architecture pretty much in terms of like?
I honestly don't know.
I don't know, right?
Look, I don't think it's a porting issue. I think it's a licensing issue. I don't think they spent the last like year and a bit working on a Cuphead port for thing. I don't think that's how it is.
I'm surprised that Xbox. I mean, because I know they had exclusivity.
Yeah.
They first put it to Switch.
Yeah.
And then to PlayStation. It's like, that's decent IP to keep to yourself.
Sure.
I'm surprised that they did that, but again, maybe they just want to sell more units and like, whatever. Speaking of selling more stuff,
this is our final story of the day. Guys, good news. We know how much you all love Konami, and I'm right there with you guys. I'm a big Konami fan.
When I read this last night late, I thought it said Kojima.
No.
I thought Kojima was
is not
his own
making
line.
gaming PCs, Sam.
Yeah. Maybe that was a Freudian slip in my mind, but Konami.
Konami launches a line of gaming PCs. This is the true headline. They're called Ares Spear, as in like war spear, like the god of war kind of thing, Ares. And it's a line of gaming PCs that look like us. I mean, they are just so ugly. Look at this. Do you think this looks cool?
It kind of looks like a microphone.
They look
from
like
the
the
50s.
the 50s microphones.
It really does.
Yeah.
Or it looks like a big thing that just, those big terabyte that hold heaps of storage. It kind of looks like that kind of thing.
It does.
So
they've got a really
ugly.
They've got a really shitty tag phrase as well, like tagline. Advanced revolution of esports.
That just feels like a boomer trying to sell computers.
Like advanced revolution. Like revolution as in like turning in a circle, or revolution as in like the upturning of society when like the proletariat overthrow the landowners. Like,
yeah, I mean,
what is this? Do you know what I mean? Like, what is that tagline? And look at the color scheme of this, right? It looks
It just looks like a 90s website.
It looks like a 90s website, one of those promotional PowerPoints of like, you should buy real estate here out on the outskirts of Sydney.
The trapezoid.
Exactly.
It doesn't look appealing. It doesn't look up to date. Maybe they've just pulled this out of like, you know, a file there from the 90s and they were like, yeah, cool, this will do.
Konami, don't make PCs, man.
Yeah.
Just, you know what,
just
Konami?
make pachinko machines or whatever you do now and give us a new Metal Gear, man. Like, that's what we want to see.
No.
We want to see a new Metal Gear.
Just sell the Metal Gear license to someone else. Let them make it, okay? I don't trust them to do anything. So, what do we got? John Lanta Johnson. Game Pass Ultimate is on Game Pass Plus Live already. Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. Xbox Live is already bundled with Game Pass Ultimate.
That's what I was saying. So, I mean, that's what they're already doing, and it's not. So that's the way that they can get Game Pass and Xbox Live sold to the masses.
Yes. Halo Infinite, free to play, confirmed on Twitter, guys. GG says Steve Esther. Yes, indeed. Pro-consumer is a myth, says Afif. It's just a different marketing strategy. When Game Pass gain more traction and add more AAA games, the price will go up. Also, ads in games might become the norm.
I understand what you're saying there in terms of pro-consumerism. It's just another way for them to get more customers. Like, I understand that idea.
I mean, not always true. Like, City Project Red, it's not a myth. That's real, man. They're pro-consumer
I think that's fueled because they're like, this will be beneficial for our business to do this.
Correct.
And give it, like, a foundation and you know, a rusted-on fan base. Like, there's a strategy to that, you know, because they feel it's gonna maybe make them more money in the long run, or you know what I mean. So like,
no, but like, that's not a cynical gesture. Like, it's
I'm not saying it's cynical.
It's just like it's the idea that like a good business producing a good product at a good price is somehow some cynical ploy to eventually make a shit product.
It's not about being cynical. It's about the pro-consumer, like putting the consumer first is also trying to put the business first.
Yeah, which is just logic.
Is fine.
It's logic.
Which is fine, you know. But yeah, for sure.
So we guys have got. Hey guys, love the last video about Ubisoft, and did you guys the same some of the videos about Microsoft Flight Simulator and how it looks graphically next gen for sure? I did see some screenshots.
I've seen some stuff of that.
It looks nice. I'm not.
We actually saw it also at the. We saw it at the
XO19.
No, wasn't it at the previous Xbox showcase that people weren't wrapped in before they did the latest one?
I don't know.
There was also, I think, some
that was
showing of that too.
That was from Anonymous Star. Thank you very much. Slam Her Clam for $10 says the real abuse from Ubisoft is forcing Steam users to launch from Uplay. Okay.
Yes.
I think there's probably more real abuse going on at Ubisoft right now than that, but fair enough. What do we got here? We've got okay, we've got Nandor's here. Welcome back, Nandor. He says, damn, I'm late for the Layman Live party. Welcome back, Nandor.
Never late for the party, man.
Sizzler says, hey guys, my favorite gaming news bros. I watch just about everything you guys do and I've been catching live every week. Have a drink on me. Thank you very much, friend. Christopher Trimble, ain't no meeting like a strip club meeting. I would have known, never been to one, but there you go. Your boy Seed says, Syed says, hey boys, I hope you're staying safe in Sydney. Keep up the good work. Also, are you guys going to do a Hyperscape review? Actually, yes, I'm putting out a Hyperscape review today. So that is happening. Stay tuned for that on the Shill Up. Should we do one on Layman as well? Maybe.
We've already kind of spoken about that, actually. Yeah, so maybe.
Tyson Max says, morning, fellas. Please give my girlfriend Taylor a friendly good morning. Woke her up early by watching you guys live. Might get me out of the doghouse. Taylor, you are a very lucky woman. You have a good man by your side. Okay, you hold on tight to him because he's great and you're a queen. Is that what the people say these days?
Yeah,
I see the word king and queen gets thrown around a lot. So there we go. We're just throwing that out. Aaron R says, games are a waste of time. You could open a dojo. Lackeys.
He watches Joe Rogan.
Francois is back, but he had his message deleted. I'm not sure why. We've got Elijah Cinema says, could you quickly discuss the amount of misleading and false leaks insiders that have constantly gotten attention through the year?
That's a lot.
I mean, that's a lot to talk about in the wrapping up of a show.
We'll have to do that next time. We appreciate your donation.
Honestly, I can't think of any right now.
There's too much.
Either,
I don't know.
Frankie M says, hey guys, what do you think of the DS4's lack of gyro use this gen? PlayStation has been sitting on comfy middle ground with mouse and keyboard and gamepad for too long. I like gyro. It's cool. I didn't know the DualShock, this gen, didn't use it much. I mean, they use it a little bit.
That's true.
I use it to type Do you use it to type things?
I don't.
Oh, it's so good to type
No,
things on PlayStation.
I didn't even think you could do that because I just I roll my hand on the PS4.
You press the R3 button and then it becomes a gyro controller and you can steer it like that. It's really good. So anyway, Orga Tyrant says for $5, hey boys, any news on the Layman Stalker review? Maybe even a stream. Hope the holiday was enough to recharge your batteries.
No, look,
are we excited about Stalker? Have you heard about
I'm
that?
just so excited for Stalker 2, so we will have to get around to that. After Ref does his Secure review, we will do the Stalker review.
Judson Watkins says, Halo fans are pissed about Magnum and Classic Shotgun being replaced since Halo Infinite trying to be Halo Collector's Edition. Halo fans still mad at sprinting in Halo. I feel like it's a bit silly to be mad at sprinting in Halo. It's like, we're allowed to add little things.
That's fine.
I mean, sprinting, I understand it has a big impact on the game.
As long as you can have a sniper rifle with your pistol, because that's what you had in the previous Halos, and it's very important.
Hoy is here. He says, hi from Sydney. I just started playing Kingdom Come Deliverance, and I love it. Great game. So happy to see this small dev team are taking care of their product after 2 years. Yes. And I'm sure they're going to be working on something big and exciting next because they have... I know they're on a small team now. They're a pretty chunky team, actually. And they made a great game. Nandor, he says, at this point, I'm just much faster and cheaper to become... it's just faster and cheaper to become an actual Star Citizen. Elon needs to invest in this. True. There we go. KH says, Sam would be perfect for a mafia movie. He can be the cigarette that the Godfather smokes.
Oh, thank you.
Wow, Ralph.
Is that all I'm worth to you?
Hoping for an Iceberg review. Maybe one day I'd like to do that. Roy says, for $6.90.
Nice.
French Ralph is best. Layman, change my mind. Impossible.
I agree.
And he says, Master Doom, hey guys, hope you're doing well. Legitimately, I'm a bit worried about Halo Infinite. At least I won't be forking out $60 to play it. Try Game Pass. That is true. It does reduce the risk. Judson Watkins is back. Where was pro-consumer Xbox during 360 was none. I mean, Xbox 360 was a great generation for...
It was the best generation they've had, right?
It was.
I mean, it's better than the first.
Worst of times.
It's better than the first one they had, right?
It was better than the first one they had. 360.
I feel like I think 360 did better than the first Xbox, didn't it? Or is that not a thing?
I don't know. Oh yeah, it definitely did better. It crushed that generation. It won that generation essentially. So, and final one, enter 4Zone. Who was better Street Fighter 2 player there? I am the better Street Fighter 2 player. That's the end of the stream. 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 The stream is over. Guys, we love you very much. Thank you for being here.
And we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next week. It's a very big week of content. Lots of new releases. Lots of stuff to talk about. Stay tuned to the Layman. Make sure you have subscribe button clicked, notification bell clicked. And we love you.
We'll see you guys next time. Layman out! End the stream.